What's going on, guys? Blazing here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me on another Raid Shadow Legends video. Alright, so today we are going to be working on Stage 2 of the Secret Rooms for Hard Mode Doom Tower Rotation 2. And this is going to be HP Champions, right? This one is especially a little tough because it does have a Mortu in there. And if we get blocked revive, it could hurt us, right? So let's get into the run. So the biggest threat that we're going to have on this wave or this room is going to be that Mortu, right? Everybody is HP based, so they're going to have a lot of HP, pretty tanky. So what I want to do here is actually bring in our Artak, right? I feel like Artak is going to be the best bet to take this down, and he's going to work out pretty well for us, right? Now, what can we do to support Artak? Because I'm not going to sit here and bring every single damage dealer that we have. But supporting Artak, we really need somebody that's going to help keep him alive. So we bring in a Vogoth. We make sure that Vogoth is actually at the end. What else can we bring? We bring in a miscreated monster, right? Making sure that we have him. Now, we bring in a Vrask, right, to help us keep healed up. And then we bring in a Nalhorn to help us basically keep the ads at bay with the provoke, right? It's going to be pretty solid. So let's go ahead, start the run out. We'll go ahead and open up with Artak's A3, Miscreated's Shield. And then the first wave, what we want to focus on is definitely going to be this not Longbeard. Oh my god, why can't I remember his name? Hawkhorn Smashlord. There we go. He's going to be the one that we want to bring in. So we don't want to use the Unkillable yet. We actually want to use the Provoke, right? Keep him under control. Because if he comes in and cleanses everything, it's going to hurt, right? And then we're going to go ahead and put this on auto. We're going to target him to make sure we get him down first. And this isn't going to be a fast run, right? Obviously, we're using HP burn, but it will take some time. So I will turn the camera off and I will let it play out and come back at the end of this. All right, so like I said, it's not a fast run, 4 minutes, 51 seconds. If you did set up an AI setup, you could make it a little faster, but Nalhorn did do exactly what we needed him to do. He did bait the Mortu Macabre, right? So he didn't go after any one of our other champions that were way more important. Now, if we had put a Provoke up for him, right? Again, if we had set up the AI, we would have been fine. But so we have Artak. Artak, again, we have built to do a lot of soloing for dungeon hard modes, and just about anywhere else that we can, right? The best set for him is going to be regen. The other set could be whatever, you know, you need to fill your stats. Again, try to get the regen with the best stats possible, right? If you can't, then build a team around him that's going to, you know, work well for his kit. Make sure he's healed up enough. Now, Stone Skin is what we did have on him. Counter attack accessories, refresh accessories are going to be best for him. Stats wise, what are we looking at? Well, HP as much as possible. We have him built with 82k HP, 3.4, almost 3.5k defense, works solid. The speed I know is kind of ridiculous, 293, but again, I use him to solo a lot of hard mode dungeons. Do we need it that high? Absolutely not. Anything over 250 is going to work well, or as fast as you can build him, right? 402 resistance, anything over 350 definitely is a must, especially if you're going to use him for hard modes. If not, his passive will definitely help you, you know, if you're around the 300 mark. Accuracy, definitely minimum 350 is what I would suggest. I know the build for Artak is very stat hungry, but he will carry your account so far, if you build him properly, right? An example, which will be coming up in a video soon, is just to show you the power of Artak on Steven's account, which is very, very early game, right? So now let's talk about books. Booking situation, we do have him fully booked. If you have him, book him. You're not going to regret it at all, right? Brimstone is what we did take. I don't care what you say. It's still the blessing for him. Masteries wise, we did take solo masteries for him. We did go support, right? So we took Oppressor, we took Spirit Haste, we took Master Hexer, we took Lore Seal, and we took Cycle of Magic. For the defense, we did take Retribution, we did take a Delay of Death, and we did take Resurgent. Let's talk about Miscreated Monster. Miscreated Monster is one of those OG, you know, almost legacy type champions who I feel is awesome, right? Brings survivability, brings a massive shield, brings ally protection. And so he has one build and one build only. Now, we did used to use him as a nuker back in the day. And, you know, he would be pretty scary before, you know, Gold 5 and Plat came out. Way before Stone Skin and everything, but he's kind of lost the meta, I guess I could say. So, player, if you're watching, give my boy a buff, right? Give my boy a buff. Make him 2024 worthy. So, as for the sets, we do have him built in a Perception and Defiant, right? Because he has an ally protector, we want to mitigate the damage he can take. What else could you build him with? Stalwart would be great, right? Or double or triple Defiant. Now, stats-wise, what are we looking at? Well, we want to make sure that we have enough HP on him as possible, right? So we have him at 70k HP. That is very solid for him. 2.5k defense works out pretty well for, you know, early to mid game. Once you start moving into the end game, he's really not used, but, you know, except for specific niche case uses such as this. 259 speed. We do have him going pretty fast. He does have cruelty, so we want to abuse that as much as possible. 100% and 10, actually, 110 crit rate. You want to make sure you always have enough crit rate on him. He does need to have 100%, so you can go ahead and make sure you get a massive shield. Crit damage, you actually don't want any on him, so the more you have, the worse. Unfortunately, the blessing does give us an extra 20%, but because he does have cruelty, we want that, right? So we are stuck with 123%. I didn't really try to get anything else. Affinity bonuses, it gave me some. Masteries gave me a little bit, right? So, as for resistance, we didn't really want to put any in the build, but if you want to, go ahead. I'd suggest a minimum of 350. Accuracy, minimum 350 is what you're going to want to take on him, right? He is going to help you out quite a bit. Now, let's talk about skills. If you have him, book him. You're not going to, you know, early game, he's going to carry your account. Spider, up to stage 25, he is a huge, huge carry. I actually even used him in the Spooktober challenge for the content creators. And he came in pretty solid there, right? Giving us a big, massive shield. So if you do have the books, use it. Blessing, we did take cruelty. A2, AoE does help. Masteries wise, these are standard masteries that you can use to increase the amount of shield he brings out. So we went offense and support. Now you could take War Master, but I want to ignore as much defense as possible to get a big meaty shield, especially for Spider, right? So we did go Helm Smasher, we did go Kill Streak, we did go Methodical, we did take Bring It Down along with Cycle of Violence, right? And we did take Whirlwind of Death. As for the support tree, we did take Lasting Gifts, trying to extend that shield to a 4-turn cooldown, right? Merciful Aid is another one we took, and Healing Savior. Vogoth. What can we say about Vogoth? Well, he's just a meat shield, right? We want him all the way at the end of our team, and we want him just to be able to sit there and heal, right? So what did we do? We built him with a Guardian and Immortal set. Guardian is going to absorb some of the damage that we take for the rest of our team, and then it's going to heal him up, right? So between the Guardian set and the Immortal set, we're going to gain back 13% healing of his HP every time. That's going to be pretty solid, right? Counterattack accessories are going to work out well for him. Refresh, not so well, right? Because of the A1. All right, so let's talk about stats. How do we build our Vogoth? Well, there's plenty of different ways. The one way most people build him is just bring high EHP and really, really slow. That may work for like an arena build, but for a general PvE use, you really want to add some speed, right? So what do we have? We have him at 69k HP. The higher, the better, right? 3.2k defense. A little too much. 2.5 is the minimum, right? But don't neglect it, right? Because you want to be able to take the hit so you can heal everybody, but you don't want to take the hit and be one shot, right? 209 speed. I try to keep it as much as as close to 200 as possible. It is going to help out, right? We can't negate the fact that we need to take turns to heal back up. As for crit rate and crit damage, we don't care. We don't need it, right? Not for this build, or not for any build, to be honest. He's not going to nuke. 271 resistance. If you want to build it, go for it. If not, worry about accuracy. Accuracy helping out with the A2 to provoke is going to be solid, right? So we do have him at 270 accuracy. Try to get it closer to 350. Really does help. Booking situation. Do you need your Vogoth booked? Absolutely not, right? It's all about the passives here. 1, whenever this champion is attacked, heals all allies by 50% of the damage received. If you're going against bosses, it's only 25. But that does not require any books. The other one. When attacked, places a leech debuff on the attacker for 2 turns. If the attacker is under a provoke debuff, placed by this champion, also has a 75% or 70% chance, books to 100, of increasing cooldowns of a random skill on the attacker for 2 turns. Occurs once per attack. Now, the A1 does help if you want to increase the debuffs on an enemy, right? And then the A2 does bring a decreased attack and provoke, so that does help. Do you need them booked? No. The passive, I would say this one would be the only one that you'd really want to book to try to get the 100% chance, but it's not really necessary. Iron Will is what we did take for a blessing. And as for masteries, do you really need them? No. If you have them, could you use them? Sure. You could go either way. If you need more HP, take Elixir of Life. If you need more defense, take Bulwark, right? Not Bulwark. If you want to give more sustainability to your team, take Bulwark. So he absorbs some of the damage. It's actually going to be the best one for him. But what we did take was Bulwark. We did take Cycle of Revenge. We did take Selfless Defender. And we did take Delay of Death. Now, as for the support tree, Spirit Haste isn't really going to do a lot for us. We could come down and take Sniper, but it does help to, if you have a Reviver on the team, to help keep everybody alive, to, boost your Reviver, right? Let's talk about Cycle of Magic, Merciful Aid, along with Healing Savior, and Lay on Hands. Basically, everything you need to make sure you increase the healing he provides. All right, Vrask. Vrask is a very unique champion, right? He is only used for his passive, and basically his A1. You don't really use the A2, but he does provide a lot for you, right? He provides healing, and he provides healing every time he hits. So, what did we build him with? Well, we built him with a bolster and speed set. Are they necessary? Absolutely not. I feel Relentless would work as well. Reflex is kind of a waste on him. Anything that's going to basically make him go faster. So you can put him in triple speed sets if you really wanted to. But never forget, it's always stats over sets. So if you can build with a set and the right stats, go for it. If not, don't worry about it, right? Me being an endgame player, I have the luxury of being able to do both, right? Now, let's talk about accessories. Counterattack accessories are key for him. They are best in slot, right? The A1 increases turn meter every time he critically hits, and then the passive gives you healing every time he hits with the A1. So solid. Let's talk about stats. Well, because we heal by 10% of his max HP, we want to make sure that we build him tanky, right? So we care about 3 things. First, we care about having enough HP. So we haven't built at 72k HP. Now, I've seen some Vrask being built with almost 100k HP, which is 10% heal of that, 10k heal every single time he takes a turn. Massive. Let's talk about defense. Defense, we want to shoot for a minimum of 2.5, right? Moving into hard mode stuff, endgame dungeons, if you know, not endgame dungeons because he's not endgame dungeon viable, but endgame content, 2.5 is minimum what you're going to want to take. Speed-wise, because the A1 boosts the turn meter and we have counterattack accessories on it, he doesn't need to be excessively fast, but he does need to be fast enough. So we have him at 229 speed. Crit rate is the other thing we care about the most. He needs to be at 100% crit rate. If you have him over, go for it. If not, you know, his kit's not going to work out as well. So 100% crit rate is a must. We don't care about resistance and we don't care about accuracy. If you want to build some resistance on him, you're going to want to make sure that you have at least 350, right? Let's talk about his skill kit. Do we need our Vrask booked? Not really. The A1 brings in some extra damage if you really wanted to book it, but you don't gain anything else, right? You don't gain any extra healing. You don't gain any extra turn meter boost. So it's not really needed. It's all about the damage. I have mine booked, but again, being an in-game player in a clan where we compete for CVC, I kind of have to. Eventually, I need the points. Now, the passive is what we really care for, right? Heals all allies by 10% of this champion's max HP whenever he inflicts a critical hit. And that doesn't require books. So we're pretty good there. Blessings-wise, we did take Commanding Presence for him, right? Masteries-wise, we didn't use any masteries. We don't need them. But if you were to use masteries, what would you want to take? Well, Timely Intervention works out well. Spirit Haste works out well as well, too. Merciful Aid, Healing Savior, right? Lay on Hands. Now, you could come and take Lord of Steel to give you a little bit of an extra stat boost, and then you want to take Steadfast. As for the defense tree, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take Tough Skin, you're going to want to take Rejuvenation, right? You're going to want to take Blast Proof, decreasing the damage that you take by 5% for AoE hits. You're going to want to take Resurgence, along with Delay of Death, Cycle of Revenge, and depending on if, you know, you take anything else down on the support tree, which I don't really see anything other than the, what's called Spirit Haste right here, I would definitely take Retribution. Let's talk about Nalhorn. Now, Nalhorn is built for my Phantom Shogun team, right? So, he is required in a specific build because of that. Now, we do have him built with a Stalwart set. In that particular build and speed comp that we have, this actually works out best for us. So the build that we have here is a very niche specific build, right? So keep that in mind. You could build him way tankier with more speed, but what did we do for stats? Well, we want to make sure that we have him as tanky as possible. So for this, we shot for 50k HP. If you can build it higher, go for it. 2.8k defense, minimum 2.5. Remember, as you move into the end game, you want to make sure you're shooting for 2500 defense. Speed is low here. Again, remember, it is a very specific build for Phantom Shogun that we're showcasing here. And so we built him with 181 speed. 200 would be better. Crit rate, we don't have any, we don't need it. Crit damage, we did need it because of Phantom Shogun, right? He is our target. So just make sure you don't really need to be 272 crit damage. Just ignore that, right? Let's talk about resistance. Is it needed? Not really, right? The build doesn't really need it. We're not building him to resist debuffs. He's not a healer. Accuracy-wise, you are going to want to build it. For the build that we had in with our Phantom Shogun, he doesn't really need the provoke, so we didn't put any accuracy in him. But for anything else, you're going to want to make sure you build him with at least 350. Now, you did see that he did land some of the provokes, right, with 171. That was probably just the 3%, to be quite honest. But, minimum that I would say once you're starting to move into some of these hard modes things, you're going to want to do minimum 250, ideally 350, right? So let's talk about skills. If you have your Nullhorn, he's a rare, you're going to want to book him, right? Pretty solid, pretty easy to get him booked, right? Now let's talk about blessings. We did take Selfless Defender, right? As for masteries, we don't have any booked. We don't need them. So if you really want to, you can come down. You can go with the War Master route, Methodical, Kill Streak, Wrath of the Slain, bring it down, single out, and then you could, build in Keen Strike along with Deadly Precision if you're going to build him some crit rate. If not, come down and do a support blend. You could come down and take Bulwark, right? You could take Cycle of Revenge or Retribution, take Delay of Death. You could take Resurgent along with Rejuvenation and Blastproof, and you could take Tough Skin. If you're going down the support tree, this one's a little, iffy about what you want to do. You don't really want to take either Charge Focus, sorry. You don't want to take Arcane Celerity or Rapid Response. You could take Pinpoint Accuracy. You can take Charge Focus. You can take Swarm Smiter, Lord of Steel. You don't actually want to take Cycle of Magic, especially if he's speed tuned for something else. You could take Evil Eye. You could take Sniper along with Spirit Haste. And then I'd probably say either go Eagle Eye or Elixir of Life. All right, so like I said, this was a pretty budget-friendly team. There's definitely some other champions out there that you could use, right? Husk would come in as a very solid champion. Definitely Taragi comes in as a very solid champion. For rares, Painkeeper, Doomscreech actually pretty solid, increasing your turn meter boost, right? Very solid right there. Other than that, I don't want to suggest anybody else because I don't want you to build something that you're not going to use, right? Me, myself, being a content creator, I have the luxury of being able to build a lot of these champions, but, most free-to-play players won't. So everyone that I suggested on this is going to be somebody that you can use somewhere else in the game, right? So they're definitely worth a build. So hopefully this video helped. If it did, guys, give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you going for the secret rooms? For me right now, they're kind of a wash because I've gotten every single champion out there. And unless it's Dark Fae, I'm not even farming the secret rooms, but you guys asked for it. So as always, much love, much appreciation. Be safe, be well, be good to each other. I'll catch you guys on the next one.